Hey, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. I haven't put out a video in, I don't know, probably a couple months, but I did owe you a video on my review with Phonics, so let's talk about it. Here we go. Okay, so I've been teaching phonics for a couple months now. The way you get to teach phonics is actually a Qkids coach, your coach, reaches out to you directly and asks you if you'd be interested. And then you watch some videos and train and learn how to teach phonics. And I wanted to give you a review. I told you I would do that. Since it's been a couple months, let's do it now because my opinion on phonics is strong and I'm sure you want to hear it if you've been asked to teach phonics too. So I remember reading like a lot of posts on the House of Qkids Facebook page about phonics, and it seems like it's kind of a polarizing type of class, or people either enjoy it or they hate it. I will say if you decide to do phonics, it's kind of tough because you really don't know what to expect at first. And once you decide to do it, you get a ton of phonics classes. I think up until about 2 weeks ago, the majority of my couple months has been all phonics. So, that's something to consider because once you decide to do it, um, you know, that's what you get. It's like phonics, 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 maybe an L1 to L5 class or whatever you teach higher level, maybe one or two in there, but the majority of it is phonics. So you got to kind of be sure. Um, Also, I think people didn't like the repetition of phonics, or they didn't like the simplicity of what they were teaching. Um, there was a lot of varying opinions, but I will tell you this, I love it. Like I love phonics. I thought that I couldn't love a lesson more than I teach L1 through L5 is what I started with. I really didn't think that I could love classes more than those classes, but phonics, like L1, L5, phonics is like way up here with me. It's definitely for me. I love it. So I wanted to kind of go over some of the reasons why I love phonics and show you a little bit. So this is the intro for the phonics classroom. It is the same intro, welcome to class, as like an L1 through L5 or whatever you're currently doing. So on the screen, basically, you go through each child to check their sound and their video. And I always introduce myself. I'll say, "Hi, what's your name?" And I'll bring them up on stage like this. And they'll say, "I'm Bruce." I say, "I'm Courtney. It's nice to meet you." They say, "It's nice to meet you." I'll say, "How are you?" And I'll also ask them their age, and then I'll ask them if they want a sticker or a mask. So same intro, nothing different there. Um, as far as like character greeting, there's like an animations page in the front usually. T is like the second lesson with phonics, so there's a little bit less blending in these lessons. But when you see a screen like this, I'd say, "Oh, look, it's the T show, starring Big T and Small T." Okay, everyone, Big T. And they'll repeat, "All right, everyone, Small T. It's the T show." And use my hands a lot and raise and lower my voice and give diamonds. Did you see I clicked there? Just because I'm so used to giving diamonds. Um, you'll see some more animation, and then we'll do I'm T, Big T. And then I'll get them to repeat, and then I'll usually click it one more time. Same thing like with small t. I'm T, small t. There's games like Biscuit Factory where they have to click the big T or they have to click the small t. So I'll say, "Okay, we're going to play Biscuit Factory. What I want you to do is click small t. Small t looks like this. Click the small t, and then we'll go through and they have to click. Same thing, then you click for big T. There's tracing in phonics. There's reviewing other letters, like where you have to shout out, okay, can you click big S and small s? Let's go through here. Match cards. I don't want to show you everything, but I just want to show you something quickly so you get an idea of what phonics is, okay? Here's T, small t. And look, it's a taxi. Taxi, taxi, taxi. T, 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 taxi. And everybody will repeat. So it's a lot of repetition. So you're saying the sound t, 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 taxi. Now there are animation slides, but I'm going to leave those out of the video. And then there's a bunch of segmenting. Segmenting is where you are spelling. I will show you a little bit of how I do that. Let's see. Let's do this one. T, t, tiger. Can you spell tiger? Click t, t. Okay, Bruce, what letter did you click? T, 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 tiger. And then I'll go through with each one, and each kid gets a chance to say what letter they clicked. At the end, there's a quiz. Okay, so I always go back and review. I'll say, all right, it's time for our quiz. Today we learned about the letter T. Is this small t? No, it's big T, big T. That's right. Okay, before we take our quiz, let's do a quick review. Then I'll go back to the page where you introduce big T and small t, and I'll click so that it says I'm T, big T, and small t again. And then I'll go back to the page where it reviews the words. T, t, tiger. And I'll say the first word we learned is tiger. Tiger. T, t, taxi. Taxi. The second word we learned is taxi. Tiger, taxi. And then the third word we learned is t, 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 table. Tiger, taxi, table. Tiger, taxi, table. And then we'll take the quiz, because the quiz will basically say, can you click small t? Can you click big T? Can you click tiger? So I always try to wrap it up by going back and reviewing. So now let's go back to the main screen. Oh, there we go. And I just wanted kind of to give you my thoughts on phonics and what I like about it. And I really need to put my notes in front of me, so there we go. Okay, so what I love is phonics has a really consistent pattern of how the lessons go. Like once you do a couple phonics lessons, you get it real quick, and it's kind of the same exact pattern, and it's really easy to kind of go back through if you have to choose another slide and you kind of know like which one to review. There's no surprises with phonics. Once you do a couple lessons, you're like, okay, I got this down. You never really have to review. I never review. I maybe did when I first started phonics for like a couple days, but once you know the sounds, you really don't ever have to open up a lesson and review it. So no prep is required. Love that. I feel like when I was in the L1 through L5 series, I did prep minimally. I always went through new lessons at night, like a lesson I hadn't taught before, just to make sure and see. Sometimes you have to extend lessons because there's only 10 slides in some of the regular classes. Phonics, you don't have to worry about that. Another thing I like about phonics is there's less individual talking games. There's usually like one towards the end where you're blending. So blending is like a word comes up like sat, okay, and it spins and the kid gets the word sat. So what I like them to do is to sound out each letter. S, s, ah, t, t. sat. And each kid gets a chance to do that. That's really the only individual talking game, and there's very, very few. So you're not held up waiting on children to like answer, because sometimes this takes a child forever, and that's fine. But with phonics, there's no time to wait around, and I like that. It's very simple. They get it, so we can like blow through those individual talking slides without wasting any time. I also love that there's so many slides, like 16, 17 slides. You have a ton of material to cover, and it's not hard to do. Like the timing, you can kind of, once you figure out the pattern, then your timing. I like to try to get through the blending slides by like 19 minutes, and I never have to worry about extending. At the end, I usually always have time that I can go back and do my quick review before the quiz, like I showed you. The other thing people were commenting on when I was choosing to do phonics, so they said they got a fuller schedule when they had phonics classes. Now, I would say the last 2 months have been really scarce with Qkids. There's a couple people on there that said they've had a totally full schedule. Mine's been about half full, maybe three-fourths full, but there's been a lot of people with like no classes at all, like for weeks, like for 4 weeks, they didn't have any classes. I would say most of those people didn't teach phonics, so I think I did get more classes than some, or even maybe most, because I do teach phonics, so I didn't have a full schedule during the slow period. I didn't have that, but I did have like half to three-fourths full, and they were phonics classes. I like that it's easier content. You're just, you teach 3 words, and then there is like a concept at the end of some, like where you teach the cat is by the car or in the car, or the fish is by the net or in the net, or I like dinosaurs. I like that dinosaur, or I like the dinosaur. Like it's simple concepts at the end, but everything like with the sound of the letter and then 3 words, it's very easy content. I don't have to worry about, do I understand the content or know the content? It's so easy. So I love that. And then I teach mostly little kids. So a lot of kids start Qkids with phonics. And I didn't know that. Like, I guess when you're not in phonics, you don't know. I just figured they started like L1, L1, and some do. But some also start with phonics. So they start with that S lesson. And I love it. I really do. That's like my favorite lesson. I've been getting more green tags than I've ever gotten before teaching phonics. I mean, my reviews have just gone up. I've actually gone up in my rating. So I was like at between a 4.86 and a 4.87. Now I'm like a 4.88. And it's thanks to phonics. Seriously, I get more green tags than I ever have before. I love it. So phonics is for you if you like repetition, if you like kind of doing very similar tasks over and over again. It's not really for you if you get bored with repetition. Then you might be bored out of your mind, really. It's very simple concepts. It's the same stuff, learning and repeating the sounds, learning 3 words per class, and it's simple. So if you kind of like being able to talk about other things, the L series classes are different in that. Like there's not as many games with phonics, and there's not a lot of individual talking time. So if you love extending slides, if you like getting to know the kids individually during class, phonics may not be for you, because I don't really get to know the kids individually. I say their names individually, but besides the welcome screen, there's not a lot of individual talking time or getting to know them on that kind of lesson, or getting to know them on that kind of level like there is in the L1 through L5 series. So that's my opinion on phonics. I think I got through all my points. I'm like scrolling, trying to figure out if I got through it, but I love it. If you have questions about phonics, you can email me. Like I said, it is kind of like an invitation only. I think some people have asked their coach if they were interested, but like I said, my coach reached out to me, and I am so glad that she did because I love it. So if you have questions about phonics, please email me. The information is below, and I'm going to post some more videos soon. So please subscribe to my channel, and if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks, and happy teaching.